Sit!
Welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast, where we discuss Dynasty strategy, rankings, and all things NFL. So get ready to geek out on fantasy football with your host, Rich Dotson.
And welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Rich Dotson. He's Matt O'Hara.
Hey.
And he's Garrett Price.
How's it going?
It's going swell as we are literally just about 1 week away. Literally just about 1 week away from NFL weekend. If you're a longtime listener of the show, you know what intro is coming next weekend. We won't spoil it for all the people. You know what's coming. We only do it once a year that we change the intro. But it's coming next week. I'm super excited when we do our bold predictions. Matt's favorite show.
My favorite show.
You did very well last year, though, by the way.
You did.
You had some good ones.
It was the best year yet, I think.
Well, I age like a fine wine. What do you want from me?
You do age like a fine. You are still handsome as ever.
Oh,
Look at this
Like
guy.
he literally walked in today. I was like, damn, his hair looks great. Like he's got that perfect like facial hair thing going on. Like you have a lot of facial hair. Matt has the perfect amount of facial hair.
He's got. I feel slightly offended.
I would if I were you. I think you just got a lot. Dude.
But you do have like the slightly longer than stubble.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good length.
Perfect
length.
Yeah.
Super handsome. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out how handsome Matt's looking over there. He motivates me. Like I always like. He's like, to be fair, Matt and I have worked out together since we were like 17 years old.
Yeah, it's
like,
been a long time.
Like we worked out like literally together probably for 10 years straight, you know, like we're together. So he's always motivated me to like take care of my body and keep it up. And now it's like, oh, well, I can't let you ever pass me up.
Yeah, can't get outdone, right?
Yeah, and I'm inching closer to 50, and I got to make sure I don't look that way.
I just turned 45 this past weekend.
Yeah, I'm almost 46.
Yep.
Respect your elders.
Just means you're gonna get older faster.
That's the only thing. That's my whole goal. Is like when I turn 50, I'm like, dude, you don't look 50 at all. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And like, but inside my head, I'm like, jumping up like a little kid getting like cake.
Crushed it.
Yeah, just let you know, like inside, I will be feeling really good about. Those are the compliments I'm looking for. The only reason I take care. I had my physical today, and she's like, "What? Like, so like you're in great shape. Like all your work looks fantastic." I'm like, oh, inside, I'm going, yes,
Score.
I worked so hard for that.
No big deal.
Thanks, Doc.
No, I told her I was like, dude, I could listen. I was like, dude, I turned 45, and my whole goal is like, I want to live as healthy as long as possible. Like, I don't want like everybody wants like not everybody, I guess, but like most people want to live as long as possible. I want to live as long as possible and be able to like take care of myself.
Yep.
So, I mean, I might buy a bidet, so I don't have to worry about that part of it. But like, besides that, I just want to be able to like pick up my grandkids, go to Browns games.
You're done wiping your butt. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't need to do that.
I don't want to be a dirty birdie forever.
All right.
So as we get into today's show, we're talking top 12 wide receivers who we think are going to be top 12 wide receivers this year, which are wide receiver ones. Before we get into that, you only got 1 week left, a little slightly over a week to use that promo code NERDS30. Shout out to everybody who's been taking advantage of it. 30% off of everything we have to offer. The app, the website, the film room, all our rookie content, 365 days of awesomeness to make your Dynasty team better. If you haven't gone to the App Store and downloaded the Dynasty Nerds Dynasty GM app, you got to do that and check it out. Use that promo code NERDS30, get 30% off. Give it a try. I promise this. If you will get through a year of using everything we have and everything that's about to come out, and you're going to be like, this is the best deal I've ever got. And more importantly, I'm a better Dynasty player. My teams are better of it. So promo code NERDS30 at checkout. You're going to get 30% off. It does expire at kickoff of the NFL season. So get in there and get it while the getting it is good.
Get it while the getting is good.
Yeah. Quoting too short all the time.
Is that too short?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be getting it. I'm a terrible singer.
Yeah. No, me too. Yeah. So I'm not even gonna try.
I
just couldn't. I know. I mean, I know the song. I just couldn't remember. Like it's been that long. We're that old that
no,
I don't remember.
Oh, that's an early '90s song. Yeah.
I don't
Which is
remember
weird. You have a deep, like sultry voice. You think you'd be a good crooner.
No, I'm just tone deaf. That's the problem. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you hear me talk, like I talk fast, I have a lisp. Sometimes I get extra saliva in my mouth. So yeah, I'm just not my alley. But anyways, top 12 wide receivers. These guys don't need to speak clearly because they put it on the field and they produce. Garrett, you're being extra bossy last week with how we produce these top 12s. How would you like to proceed, sir?
Oh, look at this. I'm sitting in my big chair today.
Look at you, big guy.
Big boy chairs.
You know what? Let's mix it up. Matt, just rip through your top 12.
All 12
All
of
of
them?
it.
Whoa, calm down,
Just rip
Hulkster.
off the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Wow, all right.
Mix it up. Why not?
Okay.
Are you ready, Nerdomaniacs?
Here we go. Take your vitamins. Here we go, brother. All right. So
R.I.P.
In order, how you think they finish.
RIP. All right. So in order, the way I think, any explanation, just or just quickly run through them.
Just rip it and then we'll dissect it.
All right. Number 1, Jamar Chase. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Number 3, CeeDee Lamb. Number 4, Malik Nabers. Number 5, Nico Collins. Number 6, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Number 7, Drake London. Number 8, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 9, Brian Thomas. Number 10, A.J. Brown. Number 11, Puka Nacua. Number 12, Lad McConkey.
All right.
We are the same but one.
Really?
Not in order, but
Okay. Same.
Receivers.
Okay. So
receivers.
give us the top 3 again now.
All right, top 3, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. I have one player different in my top 3.
I have one player different as well.
Okay. Do you have Malik Nabers in?
No.
Oh, okay. So we all have different top 3s.
Malik's my 4.
Okay.
And
Malik's my 4.
okay.
Okay. I have Malik at 2.
Fair.
Totally, I could see it happening, right?
It's
Not a
all
big
the
deal.
targets.
And I'm going to
It's gonna be
say
a ton of targets.
Like I say my top 5, if any one of those guys finishes wide receiver 1, it wouldn't surprise me. Like everybody knows Jamar Chase is number 1 after we did last year. Everybody, I would.
Sure.
Obviously,
Everyone coming
you
out with a
don't.
list.
Justin Jefferson, don't have him at 2. I have the reasons why I have Justin Jefferson at 2.
Yeah.
But like if any of one of these guys, like you said, finishes number 1 overall, it wouldn't shock me. And the only one that really, like what's crazy is like most of them have elite target share as well. Outside of Jamar Chase has T. Higgins, but he also has Joe Burrow.
I actually have 7 guys that I realistically could see.
Really?
I have 7 guys that are all like fairly close. Now, one guy, we'll get to him. We'll get to him.
You want me to rip my top 12?
Let's hear your top 12.
I'm going to rip it too. But not like you, Hulkster. I'm going to rip it like I'm... Wait, what do you rip? Do you rip waves?
Yeah, I think that's true. When you surf,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Rip it up, man.
You rip waves, right?
I mean, you rip
You
T-shirts.
shred skateboards like we're going to go shred.
can rip
Right?
phone
I
books.
feel like you would shred the mountain as well.
Ooh, snowboard. I do shred. Actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I am an avid snowboarder.
You
I
are.
did get my kid to snowboard on my arm.
You did.
Yeah, I do love snowboarding.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I'm going to shred this because I am a snowboarder. I do not surf. Tried one time. Didn't go well. When I say one time, it was like an all-day event. Like I literally tried like
All day long?
twice.
Oh.
And then I was like, this isn't good. And there's sharks in here.
I'm not
gonna-
great in the water sports either. Like I tried paddle boarding once, the stand-up
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And it was not in like a bay. It was like in the open ocean. So it was like
A little choppy.
It was a little choppy, and I was just like biffing all. I'm like, all right, time to head to the shore, start drinking a little bit because this is not my thing, man. I'm just getting roughed up on the
balance. You got to have good balance for that.
It's different balance, man. Because I have balance.
I have good balance as a snowboarder and skateboarder.
Sure,
I
sure.
surprisingly have pretty good balance. Like on my feet.
I think it was just out of my comfort. Like the board is so much bigger than what I was
Sure.
used to. The waves were just a little
Sharks.
bit too much. There were sharks possibly swimming underneath me.
Quite
I would
possible.
just assume yes.
Yes.
I'm really good. Like never go in the ocean ever again if I didn't have.
Oh, really? See, I low key like I still am like a child there. Like I will jump.
You are a salty bitch.
It's true. That is accurate.
Anyways, let me rip my top 12. Let
Rip
me
it.
shred
No,
my
shred
top.
it. Yeah.
Matt ripped it. I'm going to shred it.
Okay.
All right, ready? Top 12 in order how I think they finish.
Okay.
Number 1, Jamar Chase. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Number 3, Drake London. Number 4, Malik Nabers. Number 5, CeeDee Lamb. Number 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 7, Brian Thomas. Number 8, Nico Collins, which is the guy the one guy I was like, dude, this guy could be a wide receiver 1, but I have him at 8. 9, Puka Nacua. 10, where Matt and I see, I can't speak English. Garrett Wilson. Number 11, Lad McConkey. Number 12, Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
Yeah. I mean, Garrett Wilson, he was somebody I put a lot of thought into, and I just couldn't get him there with Justin Fields.
He finished surprisingly low for me. Like I wanted to get him higher because, and I'm not as worried about Justin Fields as other people. Like I saw him do it with DJ Moore, and DJ Moore was his
I
top
have the stats
season.
here, what he did with DJ Moore.
Yeah, so
Explain
like
myself.
So I think for me, what it came down to was I'm worried about the overall volume of the offense. Is he going to be able to get the ridiculous target numbers that some of the other guys are? And if so, how many of those are going to be accurate.
Okay, well, we'll talk about Garrett Wilson.
We'll definitely get to him.
Yeah, they're going to want to run the
You guys
shit
are
out
going to
of the
believe
ball.
this, but I got notes on every player I mentioned.
Nice.
That is crazy.
So, Garrett, Matt ripped it.
Yep.
I shredded it. What are you going to do, salty bitch?
I'm going to crush it.
Pussyfoot around it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm just going to pussyfoot around this.
I'm just going to.
Yeah, just give us actually give us number 13 maybe. and-
Here's 1, here's 4, here's 8,
Number
here's 12.
9 is. All right. So I have some slight variations because I have my projections, but I made some slight variations based on some things that like either I personally would think would happen or injury concerns or things like that that would maybe move some guys slightly up or down. So here's how.
My Nico thing. That's why I moved Nico down just slightly.
And that's exactly what I did as well.
Now give it to us.
Okay. So at 1, I have Jamar Chase. At 2, Malik Nabers. At 3, Justin Jefferson. 4, Drake London. 5, Amon-Ra. 6, CeeDee Lamb. 7, Nico Collins. 8, Puka Nacua. 9, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. 10, AJ Brown. 11, Brian Thomas Jr. And 12, T. Higgins.
Wowzers.
Jeez,
No Lad
sneaking
McConkey.
in.
He's at 14.
Wow, way too low.
It's very close.
Way too low. So T. Higgins, since you ended there,
Yep.
let's start there.
Okay.
Because Matt and I do not have T. Higgins.
Neither one of you had him in. Yep.
You have 2 Bengals receivers in. 'cause
I do.
You know they're going to throw the football a lot.
And that is the biggest
They
reason for
did
having-
sign Trey Hendrickson.
That does help them.
Bonus wheel spin helps. Tell us, why do you have T. Higgins in your top 12? And I know it's going to start with the 19 points per game last year?
Yeah. Averaged over 19 points per game last year. And so we know that he is capable of doing it in the same offense as Jamar Chase. There is so much volume to go around. Even with Hendrickson back, that's awesome. But it's the same defense for the most part as it was last year. There's nothing drastically different unless Stewart is a baller. And that would be the only reason it would be drastically different. But still, typically, unless a guy is a Myles Garrett, TJ Watt level of player, one guy is not going to drastically change a defense. You need multiple pieces. They don't have.
And I feel like it's a hard thing to have a rookie make that kind of impact. Like
Right.
typically it takes a couple years for those guys to
Yes,
establish
2, 3, 4 years until they're those kind of guys.
Unless you're Myles Garrett and your very first snap of your entire career is a sack.
Just in his face. So for me, I think it's a volume thing. The only concern is honestly, I think on a per game basis, he will be there. I honestly do not have any concerns about that.
Agreed.
The only reason I would be worried about this spot for him is if he misses more than 2 games. If he's 2 games or less, I think he's going to be inside the top 12. It's the injury that kept him from there because
Last year was 5 and he finished as wide receiver 17.
right. So it shows you how close he is
Right.
to being right there. Right now, I have him projected at 9 touchdowns. And honestly, I feel like that might even be a tad conservative if he plays all 17 games. So I think the total volume and the fact that he's shown in the past that he can do it in the same offense as Jamar Chase, I just have a really good feeling about him on a per game basis. We'll see if he has enough total points.
Yeah, and I think T. Higgins is a very good receiver. We loved him coming out of Clemson.
Absolutely, yep.
I think his points per game basis show that. I do get concerned, and it's same thing why I'm concerned with Nico. It's just Nico's the clear cut number 1 in Houston, right?
Agreed. That's why I was able to keep him in my
Oh, Nico's in there. I just have him at 7.
I mean, no, I understand, but I said the difference. Like my feeling towards Nico and T are pretty similar. Like,
Oh, gotcha.
the amount of games they miss year now going on, this would be if the same thing happens again this year. It's a 3rd year straight they're missing with the same issue, and we've kind of talked about this and be a little redundant on it. Like their soft tissue issues are like the same thing happening over and over, and a guy like Nico and T, like even T specifically, they're getting worse. Right? There's more. It's compounded on top of like, oh, now it's a hamstring, now it's a quad, now it's a knee, and it's all the same leg. Right.
Same thing with Nico, right?
Same thing, exactly the same thing. So him and T are still so similar in that, and that does worry me when that comes up. Now that doesn't mean that it won't come up this year, but again, I have to play the odds, right? Like I have to know, like if I have ace king suited, it's better than king queen suited. So
Sure.
for me, it's like again, and there's only 12 spots. And there's a lot. I didn't get A.J. Brown in here. He was somebody I wanted to get up here.
I was surprised. Did you get him in?
He did.
Same place as you, 10.
Okay, you had him at 10.
And we'll talk about him in a minute, but like there's a lot, like the depth at receiver in fantasy football, not even just Dynasty, is so deep. And there's guys that I think, like, we have a guy like Jerry Jeudy, who finishes a wide receiver 1 last year, tied with wide receiver 12 with Ladd McConkey weeks 1 through 17, who now is getting the quarterback who propelled him to a wide receiver 1 in there with no real clear-cut competition. Again, it's Jamari Thrash, Cedric Tillman. When a clear-cut tight end, number 2 receivers are tight end, David Njoku, right? We have Calvin Ridley, who could see an obscene amount of targets. To see a 25% target share, which will boost him up, put him in contention of being a wide receiver 1. When we talk about number 2s on their team, a guy like Davante Adams and a Sean McVay offense can kind of jump.
He's at 13 for me.
Yeah, can jump into that mold. So there's a lot of guys that you can make an argument on top of, somebody like, I think McMillan can make a strong argument and finish as a wide receiver 1 this year, just because of the amount of target share in offense he has from playing a negative game script. We can see the emergence of Marvin Harrison taking a big step forward from a talent perspective. There's a lot of guys you can campaign for as being a wide receiver 1. And I think the difference, like Garrett, kind of going like the T. Higgins, is who's the guy who could play all 17 weeks essentially, or miss a game, is going to be the difference between these guys. Because on a points per game basis, a lot of them will be close, within a 2 points probably per game basis when you talk about wide receivers 7 to 15.
I have about 19 total guys that I could realistically see in. There's a few more that could flirt with it. You mentioned Jerry Jeudy. I didn't have him on my list, but there's a lot of guys. So guys that I still could see being in that I just missed: Davante Adams, Ladd McConkey, Davante, or I already said Davante, Ladd McConkey, Tyreek Hill, Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, possibly,
very possible,
and even Terry McLaurin now that he's back.
Who was a wide receiver 1 last year? Jaylen Waddle has the potential to be a wide receiver. Even more names I even think about. You mentioned DK Metcalf. Completely slipped my mind. Could 100% fall in that mold. Tyreek Hill obviously has the talent to do it. Jaylen Waddle has done it twice already. So and there's probably somebody listening here on their radio and headphones now going, you forgot about this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, even looking at my list, if Rashee Rice doesn't get suspended, he could do it.
I think we all expect him to miss.
We expect him to miss at least
games
minimum,
right? At least
at minimum. But he could do it. Even a rookie like Tet McMillan it's not even outside of the realm of possibility. Mike Evans always seems to be up there somehow with everybody hurt other than Emeka Puka. It's possible.
And that offense support, again, I've said this before, Chris Godwin was wide receiver 1 overall up until the week he got hurt. And that week he got hurt, Jamar Chase had just passed him by like a point. And that was it. So like that offense can support whether it be Mike Evans or Emeka Puka who starts the season. Obviously, when Godwin comes back, that will really kind of muddy the waters a little bit for all those guys, but a ton of opportunity. So, from a dynasty standpoint, Matt, you agree that he could easily T. Higgins finish as wide receiver 1.
Of course. Yep.
You think he's going to be a wide receiver 1. Are you paying, Matt, 2 first-round picks for T. Higgins in Dynasty? If that, like, say you're a contender, or even say you're a middle-of-the-road team, you could use your receiver. If you keep finishing as, like, first one and done in the playoffs, you have the 7th pick in back-to-back years in your Dynasty rookie draft. Somebody comes to you like, hey, man, I'm trying to reload.
2 is such a hard number.
I'm going to give you T. Higgins for 2 first.
I mean, I think that's a fair price.
I think it's a very fair price.
And
the question is,
would I pay it? Yeah, I hear you. It has to be the right scenario, and you have to be in a point in a season where I feel like
I'm talking now, this week, and this is
right now.
I gave you the scenario.
I would not give 2. I could give a first and a second. I could not.
See, I don't understand that concept in Dynasty though. Like, first of all, you would spend if T. Higgins was in your rookie draft, you would draft him for the first. So that's like you have to you can't just give a first because that's the whole. Then he has to take a receiver and you hope he's good as T. What the hell is the point of giving? I hate those scenarios. Dude, I have to replace T with. We're not talking Davante Adams here. We're talking T. Higgins, like a 26-year-old.
That's what I was trying to look up his age, and he is 26.
Yeah. So I think it starts at 2 first easily. And if you're not willing to pay that,
really,
for you to say a second, so I got to go draft T. Higgins and take a long shot on a 18% chance of a person being rosterable with my 2nd round pick. That doesn't justify the bill of costs.
And I guess it depends on what pick it is. Is it my own pick that I think is going to be 12, or is it just a random first too?
No, Matt, the person who's going to make this trade, again, Matt's scenario.
So it's his first.
No, you finished the last 2 years as one and done to play.
Yeah, so
pick
I'm
7.
mid first.
Pick 7, but you need a receiver. So if T. Higgins is going to be wide receiver 1, you're definitely you should do better unless you're facing like Alvin Kamara on Christmas. He's going to score 6 tutties on you and slap you in the face right in front of your mama. Disrespectful.
Listen, I to get back to your original question.
Yes. Because I've been down on T. So like, but even then I think that's fair.
It's a fair offer. I don't think I could do it. I think I could do better for 2 firsts. And it's not that it's the
injury risk.
You might not get a better player, but you're going to get a more consistent player. It is the injury risk.
See, and I don't think you could get a better player for 2 firsts. And I think he fits that bill of 2 firsts. Like, you're not going to get a Garrett Wilson for 2 firsts. You're not getting Jaxon Smith-Njigba for 2 firsts.
But I can get Terry McLaurin for 1 and some change.
Yeah, but that's a 30-year-old receiver compared to a 26.
But I'm just trying to win the
2 firsts.
Right.
You paid 2 firsts for Terry?
No, I just said 1 and something else.
Oh yeah.
So you
okay,
only have
cheaper,
to, you know what I mean?
That's smart.
Davante Adams for maybe even 2 seconds.
Okay, yeah, that's a completely different. I'm talking about like the 2 firsts.
Right, but that's why I'm saying that's why I wouldn't do 2 firsts for T. Higgins today.
All right, everybody who's listening, if you pay 2 firsts for T, raise your hand. Ooh, that's a lot.
I didn't
that's
hear
a lot.
I didn't hear anything.
I heard a big
silence.
whoosh.
No, it was silence.
So okay, who else is different? So I had
Let's talk quickly 4 through 6 because I think it's easier to kind of digest who we have. So Matt, who do you have at 4 through 6?
I got Malik Nabers, Nico Collins, and Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
Okay, so that's the highest on Jaxon Smith-Njigba, and I thought I was high. I have him at 9. Who do you have?
I have Jaxon Smith-Njigba at 12.
At 12. So you guys have a pretty sizable gap between the two of you. Matt, what makes you so confident? Because I'm dead center between you guys.
Yeah. I mean, for me, last year he produced wide receiver 9 numbers and had a guy opposite him that was a total friggin' monster.
Weeks 1 through 17, he was wide receiver 7.
Correct.
Even better. So that makes Matt's point even better.
Sweet. I mean, you get rid of a guy like DK Metcalf and you bring in basically an older veteran Cooper Kupp guy who's not going to demand that kind of attention that DK Metcalf did, but will still be able to pull some coverage. Like he's good enough to pull some coverage and they can't just hone in on Jaxon Smith-Njigba. I think the targets have to go somewhere. Obviously they're switching quarterbacks, but we've seen Sam Darnold look good. We've seen him be able to distribute the ball. And so I think we're going to see much of the same from him this year. And it's just going to end up being Jaxon Smith-Njigba's kind of coming out into like the, hey, I can be this elite type of guy season.
That has been one of the more surprising narratives around Jaxon Smith-Njigba for me is, well, yes, Sam Darnold. He had Geno Smith last year. We're acting like this guy is amazing. Like, I feel like they're in a very similar tier of players for me at quarterback. So that doesn't really change much for me at all. I'm with you. I think the biggest thing is he was just a little bit unlucky in the touchdown department. If he's good in the touchdown department, even by just 1 or 2 more,
What did he have? 6?
I think he only had 6 last year.
6. Yep. Sorry.
So I have him projected at 8. So. Which is still not a crazy number, but a small increase would do a lot for his numbers. Rich, you're slightly bearish, although I think you're probably, I'd be curious. I need to look and see what the redraft ADP is, but I think you're probably close to consensus though.
Yeah, and like I said, my receivers right around like 7 through like 15. Like I can go either way. And him coming off a really good year last year, 100 catches, 1,130 yards, and really looked good at the end of the year. He said 6 touchdowns weren't great. I don't mind the offense he is. You get DK Metcalf out, you bring Clint Kubiak in to run the offense. We saw what he did early on with the Saints, right? Like a high-powered offense to throw the football. So I think there will be enough volume. Part of me just like goes back to, man, they've been really talking up, like, run this offense through Kenneth Walker. Like, head coach Mike McDonald has really talked about, again, talk. They're going to have to throw the football regardless.
They want to be able to run the ball. I think they want to be able to run it through Kenneth Walker. We'll see if Kenneth Walker can hold up throughout a season. You know what I mean? He's yet to really prove that beyond a reasonable doubt in any given season. So I think they're going to be running the ball. I think it's going to end up being running back by committee. I think Zach Charbonnet is going to be involved quite a bit more than people are letting on right now. And out of necessity, they're going to need to throw the ball.
100%. And JSN is really like, he's above average in a lot of marks, right? Like his route run ability, above average, right? Like he's going to be in the top probably 30th percentile. His yards after the catch, he's up there as well. So like everything he does just proves, and the fact that he is the number one target in this offense tells me, yes, he can repeat. Like, again, I know Matt has his numbers. My numbers are always weeks 1 through 17 because that's the fantasy football season. So he was wide receiver 7 weeks 1 through 17 last year, which is significantly lower, than where I have him. He was in the middle, and I have him in the bottom half of the first. And again, it doesn't come out for me. It doesn't come down to why JSN's so low. It's just why I think everybody else has a slight chance to finish slightly better than him. And it comes down to quarterback play for me with Sam Darnold. The unknown there. Like, I want to see how Sam looks outside of Kevin O'Connell offense. Because to me, that is a big mystery. Because so far, every quarterback we've seen
has been good.
Leave Kevin O'Connell's offense has not looked as good, right?
Sure.
So, like, I'm real big on the offense.
Totally. Real quick before we, you might have this number because you talked about DK Metcalf. You probably don't. How many targets do you think DK Metcalf had last year that have been vacated now?
I would say 118 would be my guess.
That's close. 108.
Ooh,
yeah. So you were really close. I thought you were about to nail it because you said 108. I was like, no way, dude. 118. So, I mean, it's a lot of volume that's potentially out there. And Kupp is an injury kind of waiting to happen type of guy at this point in his career. So I think there's
Tyler Lockett's gone too, and that's another guy that took a lot of volume.
Yeah, I don't have those numbers in front of me, but yes,
you know what's weird? I haven't heard a single thing about Cooper Kupp this offseason. Nothing like you read
he's
reports
looking
like,
really good.
Oh, Cooper Kupp's looking like he's
Best
healthy.
shape
Look
of
at his
his
old
life.
self, like he's looking like an old Cooper Kupp.
Right.
I haven't heard his name hasn't popped up on a blurb on Twitter.
Yeah, I really haven't heard much about
not
him.
Not a single reference to his name at all, which is kind of weird.
So for what it's worth, Rich, I was correct that you are the closest to ADP. So his ADP right now is actually wide receiver 14. So he's being drafted just outside of the top 12.
74 targets for Lockett, by the way.
Okay, so that's a lot.
So we're almost 200 targets going on, and they're all not going to Cooper Kupp. I know you bring in Elijah Arroyo, who they like, who's had a good camp out there.
Torrey Horton, who's been moving up people's boards, and he's been exciting.
But a guy like JSN, he gets 15, 20 more targets.
Yes.
He gets 10, 12 more catches. He gets a couple more touchdowns, and we're really right where
we're really cooking.
We're kind of right where I'm at.
And how many targets did JSN have? I know he had 100 catches for 1,130.
He had 137.
Yards. Okay, so we could look at easily 150, 165 targets for JSN, which then, yeah, I mean, realistically, even at 12 here, I probably am too. Like, I think you're talking about this out loud now. It's like, oh, dude, there's probably is a better chance he finishes closer to 7 than 12. But again, I have reasons, like, thinking about this, why I have Vlad McConkey ahead of him, why I have Garrett Wilson ahead of him. And I think it all boils down to me. It really is just Sam Darnold, how he's going to look outside of that offense.
Right.
That is literally it.
Yep. You see the guys that are in the top 10 last year, and it was obviously Jamar Chase, 175 targets. That's ridiculous. Justin Jefferson, 154, 141 for Amon, 133 for Brian Thomas, 158 for Drake London, 170 for Malik Nabers. So if we get in that ballpark, I think it's just it's easy to get you up there with just the catches and the yardage that are going to come with all those targets and catches.
So I was going to bring this up because you were just mentioning the targets. That has been one thing that has been a little bit in the back of my mind, and I haven't done anything about it. But I am tempted to move Amon-Ra down a little bit. You mentioned all those targets, guys, in the 150s, 60s, 70s. Amon-Ra was what, 141?
141, yep.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty low target number, especially for that offense, how high octane it was. If the offense takes even just a 5% step back, losing Ben Johnson, and he's not as efficient with those, now it's 132 targets or something like that.
I mean, I that's why I moved him back, I think, to 8. And he had 12 touchdowns last year.
I have him at 5.
I got him at 6, and I legitimately thought about putting him down closer to where you had him at 8, and it's just
I'm tempted as well. But he's so good.
He is so good.
He's so good,
Yeah.
and the fact that I think Jameson Williams saw 90 targets, right around there, like 90 to 91 targets last year.
I'll get him, yep.
Is what Jameson had last year, I believe. And in fact, he was able to finish as wide receiver 3 overall. Amon
91, you know.
91.
Yep.
With the increased target share to Jameson Williams. But I did think, I was like, man, they bring Isaac Tesla in. They drafted him in the 3rd round. He's looked really good in camp. He could take the tape off and really kind of change that offense as well. And have Sam Laporta, I was like, same way. I was like, the target share there for Amon-Ra. But the fact, I gave him the respect that he is due.
Until he proves me otherwise.
Until he proves me otherwise.
Yep,
I moved him down to 6. And I was like, dude, I really should probably put Brian Thomas up there. But everybody else had kind of an excuse why I could kind of bump him down as well. I gave Amon-Ra St. Brown the respect that he deserves, but I was kind of the same way. Because listen, we talk about target share, like just like when you look at these young receivers and the windows that they're in for now, which is all you can do, just like a running back, like it's the same concept, right? Like what running backs are getting all the touches and getting the carries, because if they get enough, they don't even have to be that great. They can finish as a running back one.
Yeah.
Same thing for receivers, right? I want to find those receivers that are number one in their offense, and more importantly, like going to see a majority of the targets. It's why I talk about Calvin Ridley being like the chance to do it. It's not because Calvin Ridley's so elite.
Potential volume.
Which I think Calvin really could see about a 35% target share. Drake London last year, when Michael Penix came in, saw almost a 40% target share. It's a reason why I got Drake London as my wide receiver 3.
I have him at 4.
When Michael Penix came in, he targeted London 39.1% of his pass attempts, which is crazy. But it resulted, he had 22 catches, 352 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I had to bump Drake London up because there's nobody else out there besides Darnell Mooney to compete for him for targets. So Drake London's not there because I necessarily think he's a better player than Malik Nabers overall. Yes, Drake London for size is a very elite route runner. It's just a target share. It's why Malik's so high as well. It wasn't like Malik was the most efficient wide receiver of all the receivers out there. It's just he like you met, what do you say, 175 targets? Like
yeah,
I have him projected as my highest target number of receivers.
Yeah, it's like Wu-Tang Clan. Ain't nothing to be messed with. You know what I mean? Like get on it.
175 for Jamar. Yeah.
Let's jump into some of these more guys here. But before we do, I got to tell you about our friends over at FastDraft. This is it for the Rabbit Tournament, right? You have one more week till the season starts.
Yep.
That's going to get in there. And if you're wondering what the Rabbit Tournament is over at FastDraft, it gives you an opportunity to get in there and play in some best ball with no rake. That's right. They have no rake on this tournament. So the pot goes 100% to the players. You don't see that very often when it comes to best ball leagues. And FastDraft is going to give you the opportunity. We're going to talk about their in-season games probably starting next week. But right now is the last chance to get in those rabbit tournaments. You got to check them out over at FastDraft or draftfaster.com and get in some of these best ball tournaments, season-long ones, because those are my favorite ones. Because like when I'm in season, I manage my tournaments. I'm not playing best ball in season for me personally. And right now, if you use the promo code NERDS, they're going to match your deposit up to $50 and give you a free $50. So I really encourage you guys to max that out. On top of that, if you get in there, and they just opened up in New York, so if you're in New York, you have an opportunity to play in there as well. If you use the promo code NERDS and you play in a game for $10, we're going to give you a free 1-year subscription to the Nerd Herd. It's everything I mentioned earlier about the Nerds 30 promo, the app, the film room, the Nerd Score Plus, all the tools that we have, the data hub that's coming, free for you if you make a $10 deposit for 1 year. If you're already a Nerd Herd member, if you're already in New York and you're like, hey man, like I want to use this promo code too because I like best ball. We're going to send you a gift certificate to our merch store. You're going to get a free shirt or any other way you want to use it on a hoodie, anything along. So check them out. Get in there. Get the app. FastDraft, promo code NERDS.
I'm a little sad to say this, but I think this is the last week that we get to talk about my FFPC because season's starting, guys. Season's starting. So if you want to get in and that last final moment and draft a Dynasty team,
still time.
This is your chance to do it. You can enter one of these smaller leagues, $35. Enter a bigger one. Hopefully some of those are still available. I'll have to see. But some of them all the way up to 2.5K as far as entry fees. That means you're making a ton of money if you do a good job managing that team this season. So head over to myffpc.com. That's myffpc.com. Use promo code NERDS. We're going to give you $25 off. I know if you play in a big tournament, that doesn't seem like a lot, but it is for a small tournament. And hey, $25 is $25.
Yep.
So go over there, myffpc.com.
You can go through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A for $25.
There you go.
For yourself only.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, see a lot of wild things done for $25. So, Drake London, I have him so high. I have the highest here at number 3. It really just comes
We're close.
down.
I have him at 4, so I'm not far off.
And I even put in my notes, I was like, I have him here. I was like, this is probably too low, but I just had other guys.
Where did you end up putting him?
I had him at 7.
Okay, that's still not a bad spot for him.
It's still not. It's not bad, and he finished as 5 last year with 158 targets. He could very well have 170 targets. You know, he could be this guy that is
just really
going
booms this year.
So I think that one might be low, but I had to put him somewhere. So
For what it's worth, you're still the closest to ADP. He's actually at wide receiver 9, which is really surprising to me that he's that low in redraft. So you're actually the closest. We just tend to be really high on him as a podcast.
I mean, is it because people don't know what to expect from Michael Penix. He didn't
I
come
think
in. It
that's
wasn't like gangbusters.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's 5 really big names that it's just tough to get ahead of unless you really believe in a guy. Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Nabers, St. Brown.
Did you guys see the Michael Penix typo that they had?
Penis. Yeah.
It's like me on a keyboard over there.
Somebody did it on purpose. I don't think it was a typo.
Like, I had to show my son that one. I was
Somebody
like,
was
check
like-
this guy out, man.
I might lose my job,
Autocorrect.
but it'll be worth it.
Well, the S is right above the X. It really on the keyboard.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So it could have been a typo.
Could have. Maybe
Michael
he's
Penix.
like, I'm going to tell everyone it was a typo. It's not a typo.
Not a typo.
So it's tough to get above those top 5 guys. And then in ADP, it's Nico Collins, Puka Nacua, and then Brian Thomas Jr.
Can we talk about Puka for a second?
Let's talk about
where
him.
do you guys have Puka at in your rankings? I don't have him memorized.
I have him number 9. Wait, Dynasty or over here? For
No,
season?
right here for this
Yeah.
for this year.
I have him at 9.
I have him at 8.
And I feel like the only reason is that this is a guy who comes out in Sean McVay's offense. He's just a number 1 target in this offense. Which
I have
is
him at
what you
11,
love.
just so everyone 8, 9, 11. Okay.
Similar range.
Yeah.
So his usage there is going to be elite. But like they bring in Davante Adams, and Davante Adams is a very elite NFL wide receiver, even today at his age of 31. So
Does he draw more targets than a Cooper Kupp?
I don't
They're different.
think so.
They're different, right?
Yeah.
Puka and
To be fair,
Adams.
I did not know how to split this, and I was like, you both get 140. There you go, done and done. Like, and
All right.
if I had to lean on one, I think Puka is the guy that would get more targets if like push came to shove, just because of the type of routes that he runs. He's constantly running over the middle of the field, constantly creating separation there. Davante Adams, yes, he creates separation, but it's more of those downfield big plays that tends to be a lower hit percentage.
lower percentage, but it's nothing Stafford can't do if his back's
Absolutely.
not jacked up.
yeah,
And that was going to be my
Another
next
hurt,
point is
yeah.
if I'm not feeling 110%, I might only have 3 or 4 of those throws in me a game where I'm going to have tons for right here.
Yep.
Like so
even in Puka last year, even though he finished as wide receiver 21, on a points per game basis, he was wide receiver 6 overall. When you look at advanced metrics too, first in yards per route run, he was 14th overall in yards after the catch, right? Like, so he is a talented receiver that gets pummeled in this offense. And for me,
Pummeled?
yeah, pummeled with footballs, pummeled with balls.
All right. I don't think you used that word right, but all right.
I didn't. It's my.
right.
That's how I operate in life. I
You-
use a lot of words
all right.
incorrectly. That's how I roll, baby.
But he's going to get a lot of footballs thrown his way is what you were talking
Get on my
about.
bike.
Yes.
Come along for the ride. Handlebars, please. But so Davante Adams, another really good route runner. I could easily see Sean McVay getting super excited to bring a guy in of
Sure.
Davante Adams caliber. And just like when Cooper Kupp was there, Cooper Kupp saw a shitload of targets.
So many
right?
targets.
So like I could see this going like you, when you're like, hey, how do I do this 50-50? I look at it the same way. I think it's to be a 50-50 split. And I think Stafford's a talented enough quarterback too. He's gonna let the defense bring it to them. So it's really gonna see how the defense kind of like treats these receivers and how they're gonna go at them.
Puka could be a top 5 guy easily,
Absolutely.
in my opinion. I have him at 11 because if it's not Matthew Stafford throwing him the ball like for a 5-week period because
Sure.
Matthew Stafford's back is jacked up, I hate the prospects of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer for anybody at this point.
I was worried enough about Stafford's back and Davante Adams. I want to put Puka out my top 12 and like put a guy like AJ Brown in, but same thing. I had to give him the respect he deserves.
let's get to AJ Brown then, because we've seen, especially on a points per game basis, he's been a stud each and every year. He missed a few games last year, but when he played, he was awesome.
He was wide receiver 12 on a points per game basis last year.
So for you, what kind of I ended up having him at 10. You had him at 10 as well, right?
10 as well, yep.
Not that we're drastically far apart. I'm assuming you have him 13, 14.
I can see Calvin Ridley finishing higher than AJ Brown this year.
That's save that for the hot take episode.
I think for me, when it comes down to AJ Brown, is we saw him take a slight step back last year out of that like super elite territory. Like I said, finished as wide receiver 12.
On a points per game basis, he was 20 overall.
20 over. But
Through
he
week
missed some
7.
times.
Through
yeah,
week
He missed
17.
like 3
yeah.
weeks.
So he missed time. So I like to go when guys miss a decent amount of time. Let's look at them on a points per game basis.
Sure.
Right. So for me, it really comes down to I think Dallas Goedert's in a contract year. He knows he's the last year in here. He's a very good tight end. Was a tight end 1 last year as well. He's a very good tight end and very good receiving option. Davante Smith, same exact thing. He's an excellent receiver that can win anywhere on the field, in the middle, on the sidelines, in the flat, on go routes. Like Davante Smith can win at all 3 levels of the field. But more importantly is the addition of Saquon Barkley. Just like the same argument I made against Jalen Hurts. I think the targets that he brings in, along with the addition of a healthy full year of Dallas Goedert if he plays healthy, and the run first mentality of this, I don't think it's just like I don't think Davante Smith anywhere else could be a wide receiver 1. I really do, from a fantasy football perspective. I think there's so much good talent around AJ Brown that it's going to eat into that target share we kind of talked about, like of Amon-Ra St. Brown, essentially. And for him to finish, even we did last year, wide receiver 12 on a points per game basis. So even on a points per game basis, he was on the low end of the wide receiver 1s.
Yeah, that's why I got him at 10.
I think the emergence of some of these guys and guys that even I have here in the top 12, like I think they have the chance to pass them up. I think AJ Brown for me is closer to wide receiver 15 than he is to being a wide receiver 1. Because there's a lot of guys, like I mentioned, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, Marvin Harrison, that could easily surpass a guy like AJ Brown this year. But again, I mentioned earlier, on a points per game basis, like I don't think these guys would be drastic off, but I think all it takes is like a couple more targets per game for these guys to finish higher than him. So for me, I think, is AJ Brown still a championship caliber player? Yes. If he's your wide receiver 1, you could do worse. But damn, do I want AJ Brown to be my wide receiver 2 to feel really good about my team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, obviously, he's 1 year removed from a 1,400, actually back-to-back 1,400 yard
monsters
seasons. And really, I mean, I don't know that we're having the same conversation if he plays, the 4 other games, and there's only a 380 yard difference between what he produced last year and the year before.
So he probably would have been pretty darn close.
Probably would have been, if we're talking about, instead of 1,079 yards, looking at the stats, it's 1,300. Yeah. We're not even probably having this conversation. He's probably, locked in as a low end wide receiver 1, which is why I feel pretty good about having him at 10. I understand your reasoning because you can't turn back the clock. You know what I mean? Like, he is 1 year older and those other guys are young and they're coming after these spots. So is there a scenario where he finishes 15? Of course. Because other guys just step up and do much, much better. And, this is again, year 2 of like a really run first offense. But me personally, my belief is that they're going to have to kind of taper away from Saquon. I think he had an outlier year last year. I don't think he can have that kind of year again. So I think they're going to have to rely on some of their wide receivers a little bit more than they did last year.
The other thing that's been really, really nice about AJ Brown, and this isn't always reflected necessarily in rankings, but just how the confidence that you have in a player. Over the past 2 years, he's been really, really efficient. Both seasons, only 2 games in both of those seasons where he didn't have double-digit points. And so I think that's the other thing about him is he's really consistent. He doesn't have as many of the, Jamar Chase 40, 50-point games. Correct. He's not going to have as many of those, but he's also not going to hardly ever be a detriment to your team. He's always getting you that solid 15, 16 points. And that to me is, even though if somebody has 19 points per game and the other guy has 18 points per game, but one guy's like AJ Brown only has 1 or 2 games below 10 and the other guy has 5 or 6, I'd rather the 18 points per game guy, definitely, even though I'm losing total points.
You want the consistability.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Consistability.
Yeah, it's all about
Anthony
consistability.
Richardson.
I get it. I mean, we asked for Jamar Chase. I came out here and literally called him out. I was like, literally the word consistability came from Jamar Chase is what I was looking for.
And boy, has he done.
Boy, all I had to do is create a new word for him to come out and give it to us, right? And give it to us real good. So, and guys, when I say, even though I see him closer to wide receiver 15 than I do to a wide receiver 12, I don't there's no don't yell at me. Like, if you have him in your top 12, I'm not arguing it.
In fairness,
did you put him there?
Wide receiver 15 last year, 240.3 points. Wide receiver 12, 240.9 points.
Exactly. And that's what I mean by it. Like
0.6.
We're literally splitting hairs between those guys, and
10 was 100 at 251. So like a 10 point, 11 point difference.
And that's over a 17 game for you, 18 game window. So for me, it really just comes down
weeks,
to
buddy, not 18 games. No one's playing 18 games yet.
I'm sorry, my fingers don't count that high. So it really just comes down to, like, if it's just a couple targets a game, like, that's where I start looking at the guys at the back end. Who's going to get the targets, right?
Sure.
And that's what. And I said his name 1,000. Here's another guy we didn't mention who finishes wide receiver 1 that nobody mentioned and who's a great value on a great value show. A guy like Stephon Diggs, right? If he ends up being a target slut. So for me, there's so many guys out here that could kind of like finagle with
targets.
I like the way you said that.
The connotation of target hog versus target slut is just very different visual image.
Well, target hog is just like they're being fed. Yeah, like, a target slut's just taking it all.
Targets.
Yeah, anywhere they can get them. It doesn't matter where they're at, they're getting them. So, I like that. Put that should be a
Not
shirt.
a target hog. I'm a target slut.
Ooh, targets. Like, I like that. I'd wear that shirt. Like, ooh, targets.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, are you saying ew? Targets are like, ooh. Yeah, it's all about you pronunciate.
Hey, Nerd Herd, want to tell you about a show that we've been doing live on YouTube where we go over your teams and we talk about how to fix your broken roster. It's called Roster Rescue. We do it live every single Monday at noon Eastern time. And if you want to get a part of that, just head to our Dynasty Nerds homepage, go under the store tab, and you'll find Roster Rescue right there. Perfect opportunity to get your rosters in shape before the season or even in the middle of the season to make sure that you can win a championship.
The last main player that we haven't really touched on much, and I think we all had him in, but
Lad McConkey.
No,
we did not all have him in.
Lad.
We should touch on him as well. But Brian Thomas Jr. I think we all have him in.
Yep.
Correct?
I got him at 7.
Okay. So, but if there's one player here outside of injuries that makes me a little nervous, it is probably him. With the new offense, you think it's going to be good. We hope it's going to be good.
Sure.
We expect it to be good.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not. He was actually better when Trevor Lawrence wasn't in than when he was in, which is kind of weird. Doesn't really make sense.
That was Mac Jones, right? Yeah.
Yep. Who, Mac Jones? Yes, that was him.
Ew.
Ew.
See? It's all you pronunciate.
Yeah, targets.
Targets.
There. Yeah, ew, targets.
Guys that get no targets at all.
I want a shirt. What does that mean? It's like, dude, it's all about perspective. Who are we talking about?
And then we don't know eventually, and this is why Travis Hunter's a little bit of a worry too. We don't know how that's going to shake out as far as like who becomes the alpha. We expect it to be Brian Thomas because of what he did as a rookie, but
Sure.
you still don't know. So if there was one player,
I mean, it's going to be Brian Thomas.
I believe it is. I believe it is. But talent wise, I mean, Travis Hunter's no slouch at the wide
I think for
receiver position.
2025, it's definitely
doubt.
Brian Thomas.
Absolutely. So that would be the player if I had to say one guy that it wasn't an injury concern.
You had him low, right?
I have him 11.
11. I had him at 9. You had
I'm
him
at
at
7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that the Jacksonville's going to be playing from a negative game script.
I
He
agree.
finished as wide receiver 4 overall last year, catching 87. He had 87 catches for
So we all see some sort of step back, right?
1,282 yards and 10 touchdowns. Him and Trevor Lawrence had a really good rapport. He was 6th in yards per route run. He was 10th in yards per catch, yards after the catch per reception. You lose guys like Evan Ingram, who goes out to Denver. Christian Kirk's out the team. Yes, you bring in Travis Hunter, but outside that, we're looking at Brenton Strange and a receiver who's probably going to play 80% of the snaps as a rookie. Who hasn't really overly studied. Again, what would we love about Travis Hunter? When this guy can learn in the route tree, route tree, which isn't going to be like the first month of his NFL career, but when he does, he has a chance to be a Brian Thomas, right?
Right.
For me, I think Brian Thomas for 2025 sits right where he belongs. I think, again, I'm going to give him a respect to kind of keep building on what
Absolutely.
he did there, playing from a negative game script and still be a heavy target share for his offense.
So I have Lad McConkey at 14. Where did you kept him outside the top 12? Do you know where you have him or?
No, I have him at 12.
Oh, you did have. Okay, so I was the only one to not then because you had him at.
I had him at 11.
You had it at 11. Okay,
And I
so
wish
we're
I could
still
put him
not
higher.
super far
It's
apart.
Definitely
100%,
not. I mean,
3
especially
spots.
since I gave the rundown of the difference between 12 and 15 and 16.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's not much of a difference.
Relatively the same.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you look at his advanced metrics too, this is a guy who finished as wide receiver 12 overall last year. This is a player that I kind of hammered, home for. I had him ranked higher than a lot of people
Absolutely.
in the industry. I was really big on Ladd McConkey, and I really loved, not only was he a really fast player, but his route running was electric. And that's what I love, like a player that's a really good route runner. And I've said this before, when I watched the combine, the gauntlet drill, like guys that could really crush that. And if there's a receiver I already like, it gets me super excited. And Ladd McConkey looked as one of the best receivers in that drill. And he comes out, and you look at Ladd and you think like, well, this guy's just a savvy route runner, but that's not really the case. I mean, he was 4th in yards per route run last year. He was actually 13th in contested catches, right? Like, which is kind of crazy. When you look at Ladd, you don't think he's a big contested catch guy. So for me, I loved the way he was talking about him and Justin Herbert about going into year 2. This was like months ago. And he's like, man, he's like, last year for me was like a big learning experience. Like me and Justin getting on the same page. Now he's like, I talk to Justin like every day. Like we're working on this stuff every day. He's like, now that we have the basics down, it gives us an opportunity to take our game to another level. And honestly, for them too, they don't have an established tight end. That everybody likes Rondé Gatson. He looks really good. They bring in Keenan Allen, which he knows he knows Justin Herbert, savvy route runner, but his prime's behind him,
way behind him.
And I'm not going to fade him because they bring in Trey Harris in the 3rd round, who's a specific receiver right now to take the top off.
I mean,
right?
Speaking of no one you've heard of this whole offseason do anything amazing, like Trey Harris, like what have you heard anything on him?
Nothing.
There've actually been a few negative reports.
Hands.
Yep.
A lot
Drops
of
and things like that, which they have a type.
Yeah. I think Ladd McConkey, for me, I think he's going to be the number 1 receiver on a really good offense. And people wanted to peg this offense as a run-first offense. But just like last year, they're in the same kind of boat, and he still finished as a wide receiver 1.
The one caveat I'll make to that is same offense, yes, very different player that they have. J.K. Dobbins coming off an injury versus a guy that just spent on the 1st-round pick on Marvin Hampton. So I think that's the slight difference for me. But I mean, here are my numbers for Ladd McConkey. I have him with 122 targets, 87 receptions, 1,169 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So,
which is a boost all the way across the board for his production from last year, where he did finish as 12th.
Right. So definitely not bearish on him.
Right.
But if I have a concern, it's that spike that we saw at the end of the season and how much the passing game we saw, that spike might not come this year.
So that's, I mean, any other talking points here amongst any of these?
I'm just going to throw one thing out because I think we got all the players for the most part. We touched on them at least briefly. Give me one guy right now that's outside the top 24. Somebody that nobody's talking about as a potential wide receiver 1 that could be the sneaky guy to hop in. Who's that player for you guys? I know you mentioned a couple already.
Yeah, I have Calvin Ridley and Stephon Diggs are my sneaky guys.
Yeah, I mean,
and honestly, I know you said Jerry Jeudy. His ADP is 31 at wide receiver, so he would end up being another one.
I mean, I don't see any of these guys having a realistic. I'm like scrolling down.
I think just because of target share, those guys are my sneaky guys.
I mean, could Cortland Sutton do it? Are people talking about him? As the number 1 guy in that offense.
He absolutely could. Yeah. He absolutely could. I mentioned him earlier. I think Tet McMillan, even as a rookie.
Yeah, I think as a rookie.
Just because of the target share.
Right. Another guy I mentioned already was, I think we've mentioned so many guys. Yeah. I'm trying to see a guy who'd be real sneaky.
So if we're going super sneaky.
I got a super sneaky one.
All right, go ahead.
DJ Moore.
So it's funny. I was even thinking about Rome Odunze. So it's funny.
Or Rome.
I think either one of those guys, if one of them takes over the offense.
I think I can see the path would be if Ben Johnson manufactures a lot of touches for DJ Moore. They use him at the line of scrimmage. They use him in the run game. All they have is really Common on guy and DeAndre Swift, and they utilize him kind of like that Deebo Samuel role. Which has been talked about. I think there's a chance that he could sneak in there. Definitely to get real fancy with him around the goal line.
Yeah. The 2 guys I'll say, one's sort of sneaky. One's bro, you're a little bit crazy. Or maybe I should save it for my hot takes. But one would be Ricky Pearsall.
Another sneaky one, yeah.
Because of the offense, I think
everybody. That one might not even be that sneaky. I think that's kind of just an omission by us. That none of us have said
his
anything.
ADP is 35. So he's the 35th receiver.
That's
not
smoking value right there.
Right.
That is really good value.
yeah. So I think
him
he's
and
somebody.
McMillan are my favorite redraft targets.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then one guy simply because we've seen this guy be a good quarterback before. If he can get anywhere close to being a good quarterback again, and we know he'll feed his top guy, if Daniel Jones has a decent season, I think Josh Downs could be the other sneaky one just on volume. Because what did Daniel Jones do last year? He peppered two guys.
Wandale.
It was Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Nabers, and they got all of the targets when Daniel Jones was in there, and no one else touched the ball. If he has that type of laser focus here, you could see a Josh Downs like, holy crap. Just on PPR value, he's got 2 touchdowns,
And Downs-
but he's got a ton of catches.
Downs is a better wide receiver also
Oh,
than
yeah.
Wandale. So he'll actually
right.
do something with those million targets.
It starts next week. We're gonna
Can't
see.
wait.
Hope a lot of opportunity out there. We don't know who your wide receiver 12s are, but that's where it shows you like the top 24. Like we just mentioned 12 other guys, if not more.
Yes.
Like how good the receiving room is looking for Dynasty Fantasy Football. So we'll be back tomorrow with our top 12 tight end predictions.
Adios.